Many of Israel's Ethiopian immigrants are poor and have little education. They arrived here as part of a program to fly all the remaining Jews out of Ethiopia. But some women say they were coerced into taking injections every 3 months for birth control.
At the meeting they said, you don't need to give birth so many times. If you give birth a lot, you will suffer in life. You need a job in Israel. So we said, if that's true, we will never be able to get out of here. So we took the shot.
The Israeli government has confirmed the drug Depo-Provera was used on some Ethiopian women. The drug acts as a long-term birth control, but the method is usually a last resort for doctors because of problems treating its side effects.
We don't have any policy regarding using of these drugs. As I said, the Ministry of Health does not issue guidelines, neither in Ethiopia nor in Israel, what drug to use.
Activists are calling for an investigation into the use of the contraceptive when the women were in transit camps in Ethiopia and also in Israel. There are around 120,000 Ethiopian Jews in Israel. Many of them live in these underprivileged areas and struggle to integrate. But leaders of their community say that over the last 10 years, the number of births of Ethiopian Jews has dropped by half. Some human rights groups say Depo-Provera could be the reason. It can take a long time to become fertile again after taking this drug.
We need to see if it was intentional, if there was a policy saying that we want or need to reduce the birth rate of Ethiopian women. And this needs to be inquired.
Ethiopian Jews arrive in Israel hoping to start a family and have a better life. But many women now feel the state has been controlling their fertility. Nicole Johnston, Al Jazeera, Jerusalem.
And what is manifesting itself at the moment in Jerusalem is an outpouring of protest by Ethiopian Jews who were brought to Israel, by the way, in actually an organized campaign by the Zionist state in order to maintain the claim that they have a root in the region and in Africa. Always subject to discrimination. It's instructive to note that when the Ethiopian Jews, the Falasha, were first brought on an organized basis, often without even their initiation within Ethiopia itself. It was a campaign initiated by the Israeli state. When they were brought to Israel and subject to discrimination, it was also demanded that they should be recircumcised. And we made the response at the time that it would be an appropriate thing for the Israeli cabinet to be publicly recircumcised in light of this demand. It's intrinsic, it's inherent. One manifestation of it, which I think was very clear, is the role of Naim Giladi. Naim Giladi is an Iraqi Jew who actually lived in southern Iran and was involved early in facilitating the movement to Israel of Jews from Iraq. And one of the consequences of this is that when he experienced the discrimination of which I speak, and I'm talking about a high rate of unemployment, slum conditions, inaccessibility to educational facilities, a living standard barely that above the treatment of the Palestinian population itself, Naim Giladi organized something called the Black Panther movement within Israel of the Oriental Jews, which has been a mass movement over decades in Israel itself. So what we're experiencing now in Jerusalem with the rising of Ethiopian Jews in response to specific racist events, namely the refusal to allow Ethiopians to live in areas, the racist slurs that are directed at Ethiopian children when they're on buses, where they're told that they smell bad.